I am here at Second Shift Garage Doors in Noblesville, Indiana, and we are shooting episode 3 of Building the American Dream. I am here with Mac and Michael, the two owners, correct? Partners in Second Shift Garage Doors. So when you go back to your why you guys decided to take this crazy journey and start your own company 4 years ago? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2022 maybe, is what I read. What is that big why? What did you see specifically in the industry that you wanted to do different?
We started and he paid for materials on the first job. I paid for materials, he paid, and we got some money in the bank account. And then
truly built it from scratch.
There was no loans, no nothing.
Yep.
So I mean,
that's awesome.
all this has been very organic. So to sit back and think that the industry needed this or that, I would say what we did best was listen to the customers. We started picking pieces of what other companies were doing that were putting bad taste in customers' mouths, and just not doing that. And if everybody's following the same sales plan and all this, and customers are like, I don't like that, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're not going to do that because customers don't like that.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's, I think finding that what customers don't like about the market is where you can come in new, fresh, and bring something different by doing what they do like.
That's great. What is the Second Shift Garage Doors? How'd you guys come up with that? What's the significance of the name?
Well, when we started this, we both had full-time jobs, and we'd come home, change shirts, hop in our personal trucks, and work at night and on, every weekend, all weekend.
What are some of the struggles that you guys deal with on a weekly, monthly basis? Maybe even some things that you didn't even realize as you got started in business.
That's a pretty loaded question. It seems like everything's a struggle, but I think kind of what we touched on, at least in my opinion, in the sales side, what we touched on, as far as just dealing with customer questions from some, I got a quote from so-and-so and they're saying it's this and that. A lot of things that are added into these quotes, it's like, you don't need it. And,
fluff.
They stand here and they drive it into the customer. Well, you got to have, this is what you want. And it's like, you don't need that. This isn't what you need. I'm here to sell you what you need, what we feel is right. Or you go to, an elderly person and even from the first phone call, my wife, when she answers the phone, she'll let them know that, we'll send you a text when they're on. Well, I prefer a call. I don't really text. I'm not much for technology. Well, then you see a quote where somebody was standing out there trying to sell them the state of the art. Well, it's got MyQ and it's got the Amazon camera and it's.
Yeah.
She doesn't want that.
She doesn't even text.
She won't even text me.
She's
She's not going to hook her phone to she does not need the big expensive openers. Trust me. But, that's just where they find an opportunity and they plug the sale.
Well, one of the other big things is if you were talking to another business owner out there, or you were talking to somebody that was in your shoes 4 or 5 years ago who's thinking about taking this leap of faith and maybe starting a business or already running a business, is there any encouraging tips or advice that you would give to that person?
It's typically not very easy, and it's not. I mean, we essentially kind of worked for free for a year. But if you just do a good job and you're honest, and you don't need to go out and buy a brand new truck. You don't have to do pushy tactics or anything.
I think that's the key, and we deal with a lot of other business owners. We've been in networking groups, and we just when you're in this world, as you know, most of your friends are probably business owners. I mean, it's just kind of like, it's like anything, you hang out in a pack. And, it's always interesting to hear some business owners talk about, in our line of work, it's the famous saying is you got to get out of the truck. When we sell doors and we do service, we'll throw on a tool belt and we'll be the ones putting those doors in. We don't just sell it and then I'm in the office and there's a problem. No, I'm out there. So be hands-on in your business. A lot of people get too ahead of themselves with trying to get out of the truck. And
Well, that's what you hear.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch any video or anything else, it's like, hey, until you're out, you said it. I mean, until you're out of the truck, you don't really have a business. And it's like, well, there's a difference there. Am I in the truck because I choose to be in the truck?
Yeah.
And I want to make sure my customers are getting what we told them and what we gave them our word to do? Or are we in the truck because that's what we have to do? And there's a difference between that. And as you grow and scale, you're 4 years in now, I'm 15 years in, there's still going to be a part of you that wants to see the pictures of the jobs, and you still want to have that quality control as you did back in day one. I don't care how many years it is. Really focus on taking care of every customer one at a time and doing what you say you're going to do.
Right.
And if you do those things and you're passionate about it, you'll succeed.
Yeah. So we put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
If you want to become a trusted business, put yourself out there.
Yep.
If we get a bad Google review, that would ruin my life.
Yeah.
We've not had any.
I saw you're a 5-star.
5-star
Yeah.
every single.
People still buy from people, and they buy from people that they like and trust. And that's what it comes down to. So, being a business owner and being a likable person, being able to be approachable, being able to pick up your phone if a customer has an issue or a complaint or a concern and handle that. And I think that's one of the biggest things that separates small business owners from large corporations is the fact that we care. If it's a bad review, it keeps us up at night. And the first thing typical business owners that are small business owners want to do is pick up the phone and reach out to Mrs. Jones and say, hey, what could we have done different? Because I want to learn from this experience, number one, to take care of you, but to make sure we don't do it again. And it's amazing how customers appreciate that honesty and openness when they find out that you actually care. It's one of my famous sayings, it's on our wall in the office, is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And they have to know that you genuinely have their best interest in mind. And when you do have their best interest in mind, they buy from you. And they trust you, and they're a long-term customer. So that's fantastic. One of the best questions that I ask is, does God have any role in your life, in your business, in your success, or maybe where you are today?
Yes, I pray pretty often for our families, customers, just thankful for the business and the work, roofs over all of our heads. Yep.
What about you, Michael?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of a vulnerable question now because we have the last 4 years have been a blur. There's not been much time for anything, and my wife and I get to church when we can, or Sunday comes around and it might be the only day and it's like, we don't get to it, but I do believe that in our success with the highs and the lows, and there's been some weeks that are, beyond, we won't even get into it. Beyond just
Full of prayer.
Yes.
awful, but there's a higher power out there
Yeah.
helping push this along somehow. We're not weeks like that. There's no way you made it out of it,
On your
own wits, right?
Yep.
There's something in the background, and I believe God's playing
Yeah.
a role in everything we've got.
And I think that goes into a lot of what advice would you give? Like, one of the biggest tips, if you were to ask me that question for a business owner, is have faith and always remember your why. And I have a stupid saying that's, if you forget your why, you'll lose your way. And I really do believe that. And having faith in why God put you in this moment to give you this opportunity, and to be thankful for that. And I think that's a big part, because as business owners, it's lonely. You're second guessing yourself, or you're overthinking things, and sometimes it's just like, God, you put me here for a reason, and help me through this. But just knowing who He is and having Him be the center and a part of your business is really awesome and encouraging to hear. So I really appreciate your guys' time. And Mac, it was a pleasure to meet you. Michael, nice to meet you as well. And once again, guys, we are here at Second Shift Garage Doors in Noblesville, Indiana, for episode 3 of Building the American Dream.